Next, in geometry, you have quiz 3. But first, let's review. Let's say if I give you some points, like, okay, if B is between A and C on the same line, what terms describe the relationships the 3 points might have? Non-collinear. Is that a relationship that they must have? Non-collinear. No. Betweenness of 2 points. Is that a relationship the 3 points would have to have? Yes. What about collinear? Yes. What about coplanar? Yes. Okay. Let me give you another one. Let's say we have in the figure shown, B is the midpoint of AC. Okay? B is the midpoint of AC. Does AB equal BC? Yes or no? Yes. Does AB plus BC equal AC? Yes. Does AC plus BC equal AB? No, we can tell by looking at it. AB is smaller than AC. Does AC plus AB equal BC? No. Okay. If I say point E is between F and G, write an equation that follows from this fact. If I said point E is between F and G. That way you remember what I said. Okay. Now I want you to write an equation that follows from this fact. Okay. If E is between F and G, that means they're on the same line, right? So if I'm drawing it, I would say E is between F and G. So I could say this, EF, or FE, plus EG equals FG. Okay? So, can we conclude that EF equals EG? If E is between F and G, does that mean EF equals EG? No, because I could do it like this. I could put E, I could put F right here, and I could put G over here. And we could still say EF plus FG EF, that should be an F. I'm sorry, I have those backwards. EF plus FG equals EG. I had those backwards, didn't I? I'm sorry. Alright, so it doesn't mean that they're the same. Okay, if I have what is point B on line segment AC if AB equals BC? What is B called? Okay. Well, if you don't know, draw a picture. Okay, let's draw it. We said this is AC, and we said AB equals BC. That means B has to be the midpoint. So your answer should have been the midpoint. Okay, if you don't know, get your dry erase board, draw a picture, try to figure it out. Sometimes looking at it you can see it. Okay. G, O, and D are collinear. Okay? Select a point that satisfies the definition of betweenness. If NU plus US equals NS, which point satisfies the definition of betweenness? G, O, and D are collinear. Which point satisfies the definition of betweenness if GO plus OD equals GD? GO plus OD equals GD. What is O? O is the midpoint, right? So O is going to be the point that satisfies the definition of betweenness. Okay, because they're on the same line. If G, O, and D are collinear, what point is between the other two? G, O, and D are collinear if DO, we're going to say DO equals 3, and GO equals 2, and GD equals I have those wrong. We'll call them 4, 5, and 6. Which point is between the other two? Well, let's see. I'm going to draw a line. And my highest number is 6, so I'm just going to put 6 lines. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to do another one too. Okay, D to O is 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't know if I'm supposed to, I guess I'm supposed to be counting the spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is O. G to O is 5. Okay, let's do G to D is 6. 6. G to O That didn't work very well. Let's see. Okay. Let's use different numbers. So let's make this easy. Let's go 1, 2, and 3. Okay. Here we go. Okay. D to O is 1. D, O. G to O is 2. G to D is 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay. So O is in the middle. Okay. If G, O, and D are collinear, how many lines do they determine? In other words, how many lines are there? Okay, there's only one line. They're collinear. They're all on the same line. Okay. If I have points G, O, and D, I want you to name all the segments that I can make if they're collinear. Okay. If you need to, put them on a line. Okay. What all line segments do they determine? Okay. You should have said GO, and I can go from G to D. I can go from O to G. Technically it's the same thing, but I can go from O to D. And I can go from D to G, right? So there's all those line segments. Okay? Opposite rays form what? What do opposite rays form? Well, let's draw opposite rays. Okay, here's a dot. Oh, I'm doing it backwards. Here's a ray. Okay, and opposite's going to be this way. Here's a ray. What is that? It's a line, right? Okay. It's going to give you a diagram. It's going to ask you points that are collinear and coplanar, so make sure you know what collinear and coplanar is. True or false? Every set of 3 points is collinear. True or false? False. Every set of 3 points is coplanar. True or false? True. Alright. Go ahead and study for this quiz. If you had problems on anything, go back and review it. Make sure you know it before you take this quiz. Study those vocabulary words.